Hey, Tony Gaston here. Just pop it in. Y'all gotta forgive me if you can't hear me too well. It's early in the morning. It's 8:10 a.m. I've been up since 6 o'clock with my wife. Today, her sister is getting married. So that kind of inspires this video that I wanted to do because as I was sitting here thinking, I woke up this morning at 6. I didn't have to really wake up till about maybe 8:30. But I got up, a couple hours early with my wife, and we didn't go to bed till like 2 a.m. because she was up doing the bridal stuff. And then when she came in, she, to decompress, just talking about everything, just kind of telling me all about the day and the different little stuff they were doing, preparing for the wedding. And so I'm, laying up, just listening to her. And, her feet was freezing cold. She put her feet on in between my thighs. That was freezing cold, but, my legs warm. And I'm just listening to her. And in my head, I'm just thinking like, okay, this is marriage. This is marriage. Like, just being here for your spouse. It's after 1 o'clock in the morning, listening. Turn the TV off. Turn the TV off, put the phone down. Then this morning, I was in the bed. She got up and she was moving around. It woke me up. But I said to myself, I was like, okay. She said she want to be at breakfast at 7 a.m. I'm not a morning person at all. You tell I look a mess. She want to be to breakfast at 7 a.m. It's like 6 something. I'm like, if she says to me, hey, babe, I'm like, if she don't want me to go, she'll just move around and she'll slip out. If she want me to go, if that means something to her, then she's gonna mention it to me. So she mentioned it to me, hey babe, if you wanna go to breakfast with me, we gotta be down there like in like 10 minutes or so. We gotta leave in like 10 minutes. So I was like, okay. So that was my cue. I had already told myself because, it's early, I'm sleeping. She know I'm not a morning person. But I'm like, if she wake me up, that means me offering to go to breakfast with her means a lot to her. Because she's not going to wake me up. If it doesn't mean anything, she's just popping in for a few minutes. So I wake up and I get on up, I get ready. I'm about to put on me a little outfit. She asked me to change my outfit because she is dressing down. She wearing something real basic. And so she didn't want me to have on, my nice pants. And I was just gonna have on this shirt, but my pants are a little nice. And so I changed my clothes. And it didn't really matter, but here's the thing. As I'm talking to you now, what I need you to hear is the lessons without me having to spell it out. Because a lot of times we think stuff is so simple, especially when we single. When we single and we desperate for love, we like, oh, I'll do anything. Everything is easy. Everything is simple. But when you get in a marriage, it's different because you get comfortable. So an argument could have started when she came in and wanted to talk. An argument could have started when she put her cold feet on me. An argument could have started when she woke me up instead of letting me sleep. An argument could have started when she asked me to change my outfit so that we more on par. It's all this. So then we get down there, we getting ready to go to breakfast, and she getting text from her sister. They getting started with the hair and makeup. So she was like, oh, what, should I just go up there? I was like, yeah, you should go. If they already in there, there's no sense. I said, and I could bring you something to eat if you need me to. So then I walk her to the room where they at. She goes in there, and I walk her back to the room. She gets something, and she goes there, and then I go back to breakfast. So I'm sitting at breakfast, and then she's like, oh man, I forgot my dress. When you're done with breakfast, can you bring my dress? So, and then I'm sitting there, I'm eating. Then she's like, oh, actually, can you bring me a latte? And then bring my sister a latte with oat milk, a vanilla latte for her, and then a regular latte with oat milk for her sister. So I was like, okay, all right, I'll get it for you. So I get done eating breakfast. I was gonna get up and just kind of go, but then her grandma came down with her aunt, and they sat with me, and then her grandma was like, finish eating, get you some energy, then you go. So I was like, okay. Cause you know, she old school, so she more so like, hey, serve the man type, you know. But this right here, I'm about to be ripping and running and moving. So she's like, no, you sit and take care of you first, then you go help her. So I was like, okay. So I finished eating, and then I go and I order the lattes at the bar. And then I come up, get the dress, go down, get the lattes. And then there's a young brother down there. I asked him, can he put the lattes on a tray and follow me up the stairs to the room that they in to deliver the lattes. So we going up. Lattes like 6 pounds, probably, you know, closer to like $8 or $9 or whatever. And I got 20 pounds in my pocket. I gave him 20 pounds. It's probably, I don't know if that's like $25 or whatever it is. $26, $30. So now, you know, a black American man, you handing somebody $30 tip to walk up the stairs with you. That's a hurdle to get past. That's something I done had to unlock, scarcity mindset. And, you know, it's a young brother. So I bless him. Then I'm like, my wife, I take her the lattes and the dress. She come out and she like, you know, she talking to me or whatever. And then I was like, you know, let me know if you, she was like, they running behind. So I actually could have ate breakfast. I was like, oh, wow, okay. And I was like, well, let me know if you want me to get you something. I'll get you something. So I go back down there. And I can't remember if I was going back down there. No, I wasn't going back down there. I was going down to get me a latte, and I had to pay for her lattes. And then she texted me, and she was like, well, actually, can you get me 2 boiled eggs, some hash browns, some sausage? And I was like, okay, cool. But the boiled eggs, you got to order it. You can't just get them because it's not at the buffet. So I went to the man, placed the order. So now, mind you, there's 3-4 trips I'm making. And I'm waiting. I probably wait about 15 minutes on the boiled eggs. And I get everything else, and then I take it back up to her. Now, the other young ladies, her sister, you know, here I am. I'm the only guy. I done came in here a few times. But here's the thing. And I'm not, when I say this, I don't say this in a way, any kind of way, but I'm also, traditionally speaking, when a man hits 7 figures, like when a man earns over $1 million, we have this mindset that he don't have to lift a finger, or she don't have to lift a finger, or this person is the breadwinner. This person should be being served. And that's just something that happens without us even thinking it. The person who is the breadwinner, they're gonna feel that way, man or woman. We done seen women online going viral because they the breadwinner, and they telling the man he need to be washing the dishes, he need to be submitting. And so it's just kind of a thing. And I remember when I first went up in income, I had that mindset. Like, hey man, I'm doing all this, I'm bringing all this in. I had that mindset. And so what I'm learning about this thing is that marriage is selflessness. Marriage is service. Marriage is emotional intelligence. Because I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I'm a servant. But when you're doing thing after thing after thing after thing, and then my niece texting me right now, it's 3 a.m. my niece time. She going through a tough time. So I'm texting her nonstop. You know, I'm speaking life into her while my wife tugging on me at the same time, while I got to be leaving in another 30 minutes to go buy me some cufflinks because I forgot to buy them before we came. And then I'm gonna have to go down to my son's room and wake them up, get them down to breakfast, then bring them up, help them tie their ties, help them get ready to go. And I say that to say because I was under the impression growing up and seeing all around that the man works and he make the money and he don't have to do anything else. And it is like this from around the world. I remember when I was booked to speak in Nairobi, Kenya. They bring me over there to speak. I do a business seminar and I do a relationship seminar. And in the relationship seminar, I was talking about my newfound understanding that people try to act like it's common sense, but it's typically single people who are not married and have never been married and don't understand the complacency that happens within a marriage. And if that is you, just sit this one out and listen, because although things sound like common sense and although things sound like the man supposed to do this and the man supposed to do that too, it sounds good, but it is not the way humans are. And we have to change that, but it takes change. It takes work. And so I'm over there in Nairobi, and the guys, it's young men, like they like 22 to like 28 that booked me to speak. They have been working since teenagers. They saving all their money. They got with their parents. And they come up with like $20,000 USD to put these events on. And they didn't make their money back. They lost money. And they were telling me, they said, here, the man doesn't do anything. They said the man works, but other than working, he doesn't lift a finger in the house. So I was like, y'all's fathers have never washed dishes. They were like, no. So he's never cooked a meal. They was like, no. Like, he's never did the laundry. No. He's never cleaned up around the house. I'm like, no. I'm like, why did y'all bring me here? I'm like, that is not marriage. Marriage doesn't have gender roles. A man can change a diaper. A man can wash dishes. A man can cook a meal. I said, that's how we are in America. Like, why would you bring an American speaker to Nairobi and try to get me killed? Because you're bringing me and asking me to try to change the mindset of Kenyan men. And in the event, arguments started. Like, there were men there who got mad with my message. And arguments started. Like, during the Q&A, there were some men arguing with some of the women. And the young guys, they were kind of chuckling at me when I asked them. And they were like, no, we like what you teach. And we need it. We need to grow. We need to change. Like, we need whatever. I owe them a free event. So if you live in Nairobi, Kenya, help me find a venue. And then we just gonna make it a free event. But I'm not trying to get killed. And I told them, like, man, I'm not trying to get killed. Like, what if it's a man in here and my message, his woman get a new idea and it mess up their household and he want to put hands on me before I got to get out of here? I'm like, I'm not trying to go hand in hand with no real African man. I'm African American. This man, he over here, he know about the real struggle. I don't have this kind of struggle in America. I can't fight one of y'all because we riding down the street and it's riots. People burning tires in the middle of the street. It's AK-47s at the mall. We got to go through security to get into the hotel. I got to run my bags through the airport security at the hotel. I'm like, man, this different, bro. Like, this, y'all tough. I'm like, I'm soft. But I learned that marriage is about, and I was thinking about it as I was coming back up the stairs. I said, I know if I ask my wife, I was thinking, I said, now she probably may say something like, listen, you working me. Listen, you better be glad. Listen. And I said, you know what? Me being a husband, I'm not even going to do that. I'm not even going to do that. I don't know if she would, but we'll do that. A lot of times what we do in marriage is we keep score. We keep score. And so as I'm running up and down the stairs and I'm doing these deliveries and I done gone to the bridal room where they at getting their hair and whatever done, I'm in my head, I can hear me saying something like, hey, you better give me credit for this. Hey, you better give me credit. Hey, I'm doing this. But the spirit saying, nope, no scorekeeping. We don't keep score in marriage. You serve, you serve, you serve, you serve. And if you married correctly, if you married with this instead of with this, then it's gonna work out. You're gonna have someone who appreciates you. It doesn't mean that you don't communicate. It doesn't mean that you don't, when you see there's no reciprocation, there's no appreciation, it doesn't mean you don't sit down and say, hey, we need to talk. But after you have that talk, things should get better and there should be reciprocation. And what we have to do is we gotta get out of our way. So if you're in a relationship, show this video. You got my permission. If man or woman, show this video to your partner and y'all watch it together. And this one will tell you, if you're keeping score, you're doing it wrong. If you're reminding each other of what you do for them and what they don't do for you, you're doing it wrong. If you're seeking to be served instead of to serve, you're doing it wrong. It needs to be a competition of who can love who better. Like every day, you need to be trying to one up each other. It should be the patience Olympics, the love Olympics, the service Olympics. You're doing for each other. You're not taking advantage of each other. If your partner do something for you, recognize it and you do something back. Don't just sit and receive, and keep asking, like do something back. And I noticed that my wife, she'll serve. And she served me all the time because in our normal environment, I'm working. So she getting me lunch, she getting me dinner, she bringing me this, she doing this, she mailing this, she doing this. But in this environment, it's about her because she got to get ready. She got to help with the wedding. It's her baby sister that's getting married. We in Oxford, England. It's about her. And so I'm sitting and I'm like, you know what? My wife, she never asked for anything. She never asked for anything. And I don't really give her time to ask, but I could count on like one hand how many times my wife has asked me for something like, hey babe, can I get these shoes? Or hey babe, can I get this dress? And that just happened recently, like in the last year. She's Jamaican. Anybody know a Jamaican? They're prideful. They are prideful people. Like, Black Americans are not too proud to beg. Black Americans will beg you to death. But Jamaicans, they are prideful. Now, of course, if you got a street guy or something in Jamaica and they work in the streets and that's what they do, but just like your typical person, they're like, they arrogant. And they will be broke and arrogant. They're arrogant, strong, prideful people. And my homeboy from Barbados, he always joke about that with me about Jamaicans. He said, man, Jamaicans, they think they all that. And he an islander too. So he like, but my people ain't like that. He said Barbados, Bayesian people not like that. I don't know. based on him and his family, they are completely different than my wife and her family. Like, him and his family, amazing, amazing, amazing. So it could be some truth to it. But for my wife to be asking me, hey, can you get me this? Hey, can you get me that? I said, okay, there's a purpose for this. And see, this is the thing. We get so in our feelings. Like, if you go to your spouse's family reunion and your spouse is like doing stuff, hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do that? Or hey, this, or telling jokes and all that, you might look at your spouse and be ready to start a fight and be like, why are you trying me? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And you got to pick up on the cues. You got to pick up on the cues because they may be trying to make you look good. Like, let me show their temperament. Let me show their love. Let me show their communication. Let me show their sense of humor, because I've did this with my family, or I've talked bad about them before, and now I want them to see my lover in a good light. Let me give them this opportunity. So when I was coming back up the stairs, I was like, you know what? I'm like, I don't know what my wife's sister think about me. I'm like, I don't know if like what story she has heard, if I'm like a bad person or what. Like, I don't know what part of our relationship she knows or remembers or what have you. And then something in my spirit say, you can't argue with service. Basically what the spirit was saying is, no matter what any of her family thinks, when they see you serving her hand and foot, a bad person would not do that. Can you see Donald Trump going up and down the stairs 3-4 times, taking Ivanka? Oh, somebody told me, Tony, you've been talking about Trump lately. It sounds personal. Shut up. You think I care about that man? What is personal? I ain't got nothing. It's just, he is fodder. He in the media. He run his mouth. He talk about everybody else. It's like, who in the world? It was a Hispanic lady. It's like, listen, Hispanics, Donald Trump will push you off of a cliff. It's like, what in the world is you talking about? That man don't care for you. It's like, I'm trying to help you. Obviously, you never seen a racist. Obviously, you never seen a bigot. Donald Trump do not care for you. I'm trying to help you. I grew up with racists. You could be bending over to pick up your last dollar. Donald Trump will put his foot in the back of you and take your dollar. If y'all can't read people, shut up. You can unsubscribe. Stay out my comments. I talk about what I want to talk about. Don't come on here telling me, don't talk about Donald Trump. I talk about Donald. I talk about Kamala. I talk about Barack. I talk about anybody I want to talk about. Stay off my page telling me who to talk about and who not to talk about. This my mouth. This my page. You better check yourself and know who you talking to. You talking to Tony Gaskins. Anybody could get it. If they in the media and I think they're a fool, I'm going to talk on it. I don't care who it is. The only person I'm not going to disrespect is Jesus Christ. And after Jesus Christ, it'll be my wife who I protect. After that, everybody could get it. Know who paid you on and shut up. And then people, when I say that, oh, you talking kind of harsh. Somebody was in a comment, oh, you talking kind of harsh. You know who you talking to? We harsh. We real. We not politically correct. We not politically correct. This ain't one of these fake podcasts. This real talk over here. So get with it or get left. If you can't handle it, you can't take the heat in the kitchen, you want somebody to put a pacifier in your mouth, you on the wrong page. So listen to me. So I'm sitting there and the spirit say, you can't argue with service. Like, can't nobody say nothing bad about you when you with your spouse and you serving and you showing temperance, you showing patience, you showing love. And while you're doing that, it's developing you. You're actually developing what they call emotional intelligence. When you're serving without complaining and without keeping score. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because I want to teach from real life. And as I learn, I teach. This ain't to brag about what I'm doing for my wife, and it ain't to throw her under the bus or what she asking me. It ain't nothing. But there are dummies, which I'm calling them out. There are dummies who will try to get in the comments and make it into something that it's not. And you might already be reading the comment of a dummy who ain't even got to this point in the message, who try to, like one lady, I'm talking about love and relationship, and she was like, hey Tony, talk to your wife, not us. Cause she thought the video was me complaining about my wife when the video had nothing to do about me and my wife. Like if I had something negative to say, the last place I'm gonna come with all the gossip blogs and all of that, the last place I'm gonna come is online. But it's like, idiot, I'm a relationship coach. And y'all gotta forgive me now because I ain't came all the way around. So yeah, your therapist might not say idiot. The Bible tells us not to say, call nobody no idiot. Lord, forgive me. He's still working on me. I ain't got all the patience yet for thumb warriors. I got the patience for Cherie Gaskins. I ain't got the patience for thumb warriors. The Lord's still working on me. So I'm still working on my emotional intelligence. But some people, they come on here as their first video, they don't know my sense of humor. Because a real comedian doesn't laugh at their own jokes. That's how you know when a real comedian or not. When you watching comedy stand up, if a comedian telling a joke and he start laughing, he never gonna be the best of the best. He got to be able to tell a joke with a straight face. And that's what, so a lot of times people will say, Tony funny, he don't even know it. No, I know what's intended to be funny. It just, I don't laugh at it myself because it depends on you. If you laugh at it, that speaks to where your spirit is. It speaks to how your heart is. It speaks to you have a good countenance. You are a person of joy. When people come on here and they take a sense of humor and they make it serious, that speaks to where their heart is. They're looking to judge. They're looking to critique. They're looking to get offended. So that's why I don't LOL with it, because it depends on where you are. But hey, I got to go. My wife texted me. She might need me to bring her something or do something. So I just seen a text come in. So I got to get off here. And then I got to go get my cufflinks. But these here messages, they come from real life. And I share as I learn some of the stuff. And even like with this a present real message. But this is something that I've been learning for 17 years. So you got to understand that I can't help another marriage if I haven't lived it. And that's why I get so upset with single people who make a living off of being a relationship coach when they haven't had a successful relationship. Because it's one thing to teach what not to do and what can go wrong, but it's a whole nother thing to teach the recipe for how to make it right and how to make it last. So I can't teach you right now how to make it last for 20 years in marriage because I've only been there 17. I can't teach you 50 years. It's only been 17 because every year presents a new lesson and a new challenge. So although we have principles are applied differently based on the situation and the circumstance. That's the people, the places, the time, the ages. All of those things go into the principles that we apply, and that changes how it is received and how it's applied. Hey, my wife just texted me again. God bless her. And another thing I was just thinking before I get off here, it is a blessing when your spouse is somewhere else and they texting you nonstop, like you on their mind, and you are who they call, you who they reach out to. So you got to shift your mindset about that, whether you a male or a female. If your person always calling on you and they leaning on you, you are a rock, and they love you, because they could be going to their mama, their daddy, their sister, their brother, their best friend, whoever, but they are putting you in that position. Play your role, be an all-star, win it all. This Tony Gaskins. Hey, make sure you get over to wealthofhealth.com. That's my new company. I'm taking it to the moon. We taking it to the moon. Y'all know I don't promote stuff on here often, but y'all gonna hear about this every other video, hopefully every video. But go over there, pre-order. It's a pre-order. Orders will go out next month. Pre-order wealthofhealth.com. God bless you.